Alright, so what is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. If you're here, it's probably because you have some clients at the moment, or you used to have some clients at the moment, and you are in a cycle where you get a new client, you lose a client. You get a client, you lose a client. And it was the same for me in the beginning, and I'm not even gonna lie, it's a nightmare because you are always in a situation where you don't know what is going to happen. You don't know if the client is going to continue with you the next month. So the only thing that you got to do is simply start getting them results. And trust me, once you understand how Facebook ads work and how marketing works, it's going to be so much easier than you think. So today what I want to share with you is probably 5 mistakes, or the top 5 mistakes that I see people making all the time that are basically causing them to lose clients. So if we go over here right now, you can see that the first mistake is the offer. And this is a huge part of your campaign. Let's say that you start working with a new client and you jump on a call, during the onboarding call, you decide that you're gonna advertise this specific offer. The reality is that you can be the best advertiser on the planet, but if the offer is wrong, nothing is gonna come out of the campaign. And it's not even your fault because the offer is bad, but you are not in charge of the offer. So that is definitely the first mistake. Always try to have at least 2 offers, or if the offer is not performing, try to kill it straight away and maybe ask the business owner if you can advertise a new offer. Then mistake number 2, not knowing your numbers. And once again, I know that I'm repetitive, but this brings us to the what is going on here? To the first video that I ever created, which was about numbers and why you need to know exactly how much you can spend as a maximum to acquire a new lead or to make a purchase. And this is a mistake that I see people making all the time. They start building those campaigns, but then they don't even know how much they can spend to get a client as a maximum. Because sometimes maybe you can spend $25 to get a lead. Sometimes maybe you can spend $10 to get a lead. So if you don't know your numbers, it's gonna be impossible. And maybe you start generating leads for, like, I don't know, $15. In your head, you're like, oh my God, this is so bad. And you start freaking out, you start turning off campaigns, you start changing assets, testing new audiences. And when in reality, you could be spending up to $25 per lead. So always make sure, and by the way, if you haven't already, make sure to go watch my part 1 of the series. Before you even set up the campaigns, you have to know how much is a client worth to that business. What is the average conversion rate, meaning conversion between leads and clients, and basically then you just do the math and you will see that how much you can actually spend to acquire a client, and a lot of times it's a lot higher than you actually think. Yeah, I don't even know why I opened the sketchboard because I have not written anything until now. So yeah, mistake number 3, fear and emotion. And once again, this is related to the previous point. If you don't know how much you can spend to get a lead, or if you don't know how much you can spend to get a purchase, then you have no clue. You have your campaigns, then you see, oh my God, I'm spending $17 per lead, I'm spending $21 per lead. No, it is way too high. When in reality, you don't know if it's actually too high or not. You start turning off campaigns, you start testing new audiences, and overall it's a mess. The reality is that you cannot be controlled by fear or by emotions. You turn off a campaign when you look at the numbers and you can see that there is no hope for that campaign to work out. You duplicate, you scale the budget, you optimize based on the numbers and data that you see. Never on just guessing, because guessing doesn't really work out. You always have to look at the numbers and the data and then make your decisions. Then, not able to identify winning asset, and this happens so many times. You have your different audiences, and you are simply not able, because once you become more expert and more advanced with Facebook ads, you can clearly and easily identify an asset that is performing well, and you can spot it pretty early on. On the other hand, if you're new to Facebook ads everything looks the same, you don't know which numbers to look at, you don't know how to break down the information, you don't know how to spot a winning ad set from a losing ad set. So once again, in order to identify winning ad set, I always suggest to have to customize the column and to start having also not only the metrics for how much you can spend, custom columns, I think they're called custom columns, not too sure. So you don't only want to have the maximum cost per lead, but you also want to start setting some KPIs in terms of cost per click, cost per landing page, CPM, etc. Then, if we go back over here, not enough testing, and this is crucial. This was probably the biggest mistake that I was making in the beginning. I had a budget of $1,000 and I was testing free audiences. Reality is that if you truly test free audiences, you are in trouble. Unless, of course, if you find the winning ad set that is bringing you leads for the target cost per lead from day 1 or day 2, then in that case you can even have only one audience and just keep that for the next 30 days or for the next 3 months or for however long the ad set is gonna keep performing. But 99% of the times, whether it's local business or whether it's a business advertising online in multiple countries and locations, you need to test. You need to test a lot of different audiences. You need to test a lot of different copies. Not a lot of different copies, but you need to test a good amount of copies, and also you need to test the creatives. I see so many people that have one campaign, 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ad set with 3 audiences, and then they have 1 copy, 1 image, and 1 headline. The reality is that it's gonna be impossible to get amazing results because you have not tested enough. You were not able to identify the winning audiences, the winning creatives, the winning copies. So if you don't test, it's gonna be impossible. You will not be able to achieve amazing results, and in the long term, you will not be able to get to start getting the cost per lead or the cost per purchase down. Testing is really, in my opinion, the biggest, and I'm gonna do a video on it, the biggest factor that basically determines the success or the failure of a campaign. And as I said, I'm gonna do a video on it because it's really, really important. And in my case, it's probably what made the biggest difference in my media buying career, if we can call it that way. So these were the 5 biggest mistakes that I see people making all the time. And of course, these were general mistakes, because the only way for me to really see why your campaigns are failing would be to look at your business manager, to look at your campaigns and be like, all right, look at all the metrics, look at all the data and be like, all right, this is why the campaigns is failing. But on average, these are some of the mistakes that I see people making all the time, and mistakes that I was doing in the beginning, and that caused me to lose a lot of clients in the beginning. So once you're gonna start working on every single one of these mistakes, once you're gonna start improving and getting your Facebook advertising knowledge and skill to the next level, you will be able to finally get clients and to stacking those retainers. You will not be in the cycle, I get a client, I lose a client, I get a client, I lose a client, because that's horrible. That is not how you should be running your business or running your agency. So now, if you want to have 15 minutes of my attention, where we literally go over your business manager, literally go over your metric, your campaigns, and your ad sets, below this video you will find a Calendly scheduler where you can book a free strategy session. We will go over your campaigns, see why your campaigns are not working, or see how you could improve them. So once again, if you're struggling to get results, whether it's for your business or for your clients, make sure to click the link below, schedule your strategy session, and stop losing clients. So with that being said, peace out.